Hey guys, so today we're doing Kubernetes in action, config map and secrets, configuring applications. So for those of you who are new to this video, I've been doing a number of videos now, live videos, really going through my journey on how to learn Kubernetes. I want to learn with people because I feel that it's so much more valuable to learn with someone rather than just learning on your own. So I figured, hey, let's live stream this and see who watches it. Whoever watches it, they find anything useful, let's have a discussion together. Let me just check and make sure that the video is live. 1 second. Hold on a second. Let's see this. Hold on. Yep.
If I find it useful, let's have a discussion together.
Cool. So, what's config map and secrets configure applications? So up till now, I'm using the book Kubernetes in Action, a really good book. So we haven't had to pass any config data in all our instances. So this is the very first time I'm passing config data into our instances. So configuring continuous applications. So let's look at how containerized applications are usually configured. Normally, apart from just baking the configuration to the app, we have to have the app configured through command line arguments. Then as the list of config options grows, you naturally put in the config file. Yeah, that makes sense, right? Another example to pass config options is through environment variables, very popular in containerized applications. So the app looks up a value of a certain environment variable. So for example, official MySQL container image, they use the MySQL root password for setting up the password in the root super account. But why are environment variables so popular? Well, using config files inside Docker containers is tricky. You have to bake the config file into the container image itself or mount a volume containing the file into the container. So it's like you're hard coding config files into the source code of the app because you need to rebuild the image every time you change the config. So people get access to the image, can see the config as well, including any secrets. So you generally don't want to use config files. Using a volume is still better, but you're going to make sure that files written to the volume of a container is stuttered. Okay, cool. So you could use a Git repo volume. Git repo volume is basically you have a volume which is linked to your GitHub repo. It's not a bad idea, but it allows you to keep the config file nicely versioned with easy rollback. But a simpler way allows you to put config data into top-level Kubernetes resource and store it as all other resource definitions in the same Git repository. The Kubernetes resource storing config is called config map. Oh, okay. So config map. So it's as if it's a top-level Kubernetes resource. Regardless of using config map, store configuration that you can configure apps by passing command line arguments, setting custom environment variables, mounting configuration files that contain a special type of volume. Config optional security perspective. So the most config options don't contain sensitive information, some can. Credentials. Okay, so Kubernetes also does offer a thing called secret and a config map. They're two different things. Passing command line argument to containers. Defining command arguments in Docker. First thing it explains that the whole command is executed and contains the command and arguments. In Docker file, two instructions define the two parts. Entry point defines executable invoke when container is started. CMD specifies the arguments that get passed to entry point. Entry point defines the executable invoked when the container is started. CMD specifies the arguments that get passed to entry point. Or you can use CMD instruction to specify the command you want to execute when the image is run. The correct way to do it Only CMD specify a command execute images run currently is through the entry point instruction and to only specify CMD when define default arguments. Okay. Image can run not specify any arguments. Docker run or additional arguments or run set on the CMD Docker file. So shell and exec. Shell form, exec form. Oh, invoke inside a shell or not. In Kubernetes image, we use exec form. This runs a node process directly, not inside a shell. If we use a shell form, it will be container process. The containers process. This inside the container. If you use a shell entry point node.js, these would have been the containers process. As you can see, by listing the process inside the container. In the case, the main process PID1 would be the shell process instead of the node process. The node process started from that shell. Oh, I see. Okay. So it's like you're running a shell, which inside the shell you run the process. It's quite pointless because you already are in a shell when you exec into a container. When you exec into a container, you can literally run directly the process itself. No need to go inside a shell again. A shell in a shell is quite pointless. So this is exec form. This is shell form. Okay. The main process would be a shell process. The node process will start from that shell. Make an internal configure on your image. Let's modify your fortune scripts and delay the interval and loop configuration and interval variable. Initialize the value of the first command line argument shown listing. Okay. Try your fortune-args fortune loop.sh. So let's add a new file in here. Configure argument fortune-args fortune loop. Fortune loop args.sh. Let's copy all this. So in this case, you see you trap exit sig in interval. This is the first argument. Echo configure every interval seconds. Make directory php docs while do echo date blah 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 sleep done. I now modify the lines in both fronts. My modified Docker file, so it uses exec version of entry point instruction. Sets the default interval 10 seconds using instruction. Sure. So we specify entry point CMD10. Entry point runs in the shell form. You don't need this anymore. CMD10 bash fortune loop. Now you can build and push the latest image to Docker Hub. This time you'll tag the image as args instead of latest. Okay. So we're gonna run this. Docker build -t asia.gcr.io/play01/fortune args dots. So we're building it. This time building it as an argument command. With the argument command as CMD10. Docker push asia.gcr.fortune args. Pushing the whole command. Then you can test the image running locally in Docker to see what happens. Configure your new fortune every 10 seconds. You can override the default argument by passing this argument. Oh, okay, interesting. cmd10 default argument for executable. Entry point is that cmd is 10. Docker run -it asia .gcr fortune args 15. Doesn't say the thing, huh? Configure joining fortune every 15 seconds. Vim, wait. Fortune loop dash args.sh. Args.sh. So docker build again. Docker build dash t asia cio. Okay, it's building that. Docker image ls. Docker run it asia. Wait. Pushing up the args version. Made a minor change there, sorry guys. Okay. Sorry. Docker build dash t building again. Now let me push the image. Okay, push done. Now let's run this. Let's see what happens. There you go. Configure 15 seconds. Do you want? So let's see here, fortune loop. Okay, cool. So it's every 15 seconds, so we can set the little settings right there. Let me prune off all the other images. Docker image is ls. Docker image prune dash all. Yes. Reclaim space. Docker image ls. Docker. Yeah, check it out. Cool, right? So, we've added or modified the lines in both. Run modified Docker file is the exact version of entry points at default interval 10 seconds. Okay, cool. Now let's try running in the shell. I'm curious, would it work if I run in the shell? What do you think? If I run it in shell form, would it work? You agree with me? Docker file shell dot Dockerfile dash shell. Let's try this, alright, shall we? Come in over here, come inside here, push it out. If I was to run this as a shell, how do you work again? Entry point, default argument bin bash. If you use a shell form, entry point node. Okay, so this would be the, and this would be the shell form. Bash bin fortune loop cmd10. If you run that in a shell form, let's see what happens. Docker build dash t asia args shell. Let's see if I build as a shell, how will it? Oops, wrong one. Crap. Dash f docker file dot dash shell. Yep, requires one. Docker build dash t dash. I specify Docker file. docker build dash f dockerfile dash shell dash t asia.gcr.io slash play001 slash fortune arts shell. Request exactly one argument. Oh, okay. Entry point bash fortune loops, then docker run asia.fortune arts shell. Oh, look at that. Look at what happened over there. My god, it's not working. Look at this, guys. Clearly docker container ls. Let's stop this. Docker container stop compassionate kohen. Stop compassionate kohen. Missing operand. Clearly that didn't work. Fortune loop arcs. Okay. Sleep missing operand. So let's go back. Making interval configure for fortune image. Okay. Your interval initialized as shown. Sorry guys, don't mind that noise. That was from someone nearby. Entry point, default listing. Ubuntu, now build docker and tag image arcs, it's the latest. Yep, test the image, run. Okay, cool. Overriding command with arguments in Kubernetes. Yes. Yes. Docker RMI. Docker images dash f dangling equals true. Okay, docker. Let's remove the dangling images. Docker rm dash f dash q. Docker image ls. Let's see. Yep, remove that. Removed all of it. So overriding in command in Kubernetes. I'm just going to continue to choose override both entry point and cmd commands contention and listing. 1 second. Sorry, I had a very important business call just now. Okay, so let's see, where were we? Overriding commands in Kubernetes. I'm going to put a cup here. Actually, okay, now I'm going to put it here then. So, let's see, specifying containing and choose to override both the entry point and CMD. To do that, you can set the properties, commands, args, and container. You can set the properties, command, and args in the container specification shown in the following listing. Pod definition specifying custom command and arguments, pod spec containers, image, some image, command, bin, args. In most cases, set custom arguments, but rarely override command except general purpose images. This is entry point or the command args fields can't be updated after the pod is created. 2 Docker file instructions. Docker and Kubernetes, entry point, CMD, command, and args. Oh, I see. Executable executed inside a container, arguments passed to executable. Oh, I didn't know that. CMD and entry point is like command, CMDs are the arguments. Okay. So let's see this. Fortune args 2. HTML name generator volume mounts. This argument is a script generated Fortune 2 seconds. Volume mounts. Name HTML mount path var ht docs. Let's take a look at this. So let's see this. This is basically Fortune pod args. Pod Fortune args labels name Fortune app containers image azure.gcr.io/play01/fortune args 2. Name is HTML generator. Volume mounts. Name HTML mount path. 100M. Volume mounts. Name HTML. Oops, no HTML. Mount path var ht docs. So metadata name Fortune 2 as containers Asia GCR. Args is 2. Okay, edit args content definition. Trains new pod now. Invalid pass contains online arguments or notation. This is great. But you must enclose numbers. Okay. Then I give only passing comment. See how to do it. Show environment variables. Okay, cool. Let's see this Asia GCIO Fortune args. Let's run this pod. Let's see what happens. How do you exec the logs from there? apply-f Fortune args. See where the spec containers not found HTML. volume mounts. Volume mounts HTML. Volumes. Empty dir. Okay. kubectl get odds. Fortune arcs. Ah, there you go. Fortune logs -f. There you go. Setting up environment variables for the container. Often use environment applications as environment variable source config options. Kubernetes list specify custom list. Environment variables full bar. So environment variables are for each container of a pod. Containers, environments, and this environment variables cannot be updated after a pod is created. Let's have my fortunately script for environment variable. Because a simple bash script. Okay. Content definition. There you go. Containers image. Environment variables, name, interval, value equals values 30. Fortune env. Let's see how to modify a fortune script again for environment variable. Okay, no more pass this in. We run the shell script. I don't need to pass in the CMD anymore. Well, let's say I did pass in the CMD. Fortune pod env.yaml. Let's see the shell script. Fortune loop-env.sh. Paste that in there. Move the interval, and just set the interval as that. Okay. So interval So if we try and run this now, kubectl apply -f, variable variables value names. So let's see this. In the previous example, you fix environment variable, you specify previously defined environment variables are like variables in var syntax. For environment variables, that can include value instruction from first listing. Let's build the thing with environment variable inside another one. First var foobar. Oh. env name first var value foo name second var value first var boo. Foo, second var boo. So symbol of command should be with environment variable section 2. So if I try put it inside here now, fortune loop in or sh echo variables first var and second var. So if I build this, docker build -f fortune loop nope, docker file fortune loop env fortune loop env dot sh dash t asia dot gcr dot io slash k01 slash what was it called again? Fortune env dot building it docker file unknown instruction trap. Oh, building the image and do a docker push. Before I do that, let's run a build, but we don't need an env docker push Asia gcr fortune env, pushing it to our cloud. So okay, done the push. Now I run the kubectl environment. I run my fortune pod env environment. I'll make it 30. I want to make it 5. I'll make it 1 then, faster. Not 5. kubectl apply dash f fortune pod env.yaml. Oh my god. Invalid format unmanifest background is image. Fortune args. Huh. The pod fortune args invalid spec. Okay, cool. kubectl get pods, running straight away. kubectl log dash f fortune env pod fortune env. Logging. There you go, variables foo and fubu. Right there. You guys can see that. So, referring to other environment variables and the variables name of this one. Let's then draw by hard-coded environment variables. Means if you have hard-coded pod definition, config map is for decouple your configurations from the pod descriptor. Decoupling configuration config map. Move the config out of the pod description introducing config maps. Kubernetes allows separating configuration separate object called config map. It's a key value pair. Files in the volume. Because environment reference command arguments that pass the containers as either environment variables or as files in a volume. And because environment variables can be referenced in command line arguments using the env var syntax, we also pass config map entries to processes as command line arguments. And processes in as command line arguments. Should application read the contents of config directly choose Kubernetes. Environment variables, config map volume, pod. Pods use config maps to environment variables and config map volumes. Because how app config map having the config in a separate standalone object, and this allows you to keep multiple manifests for config maps with the same name, each for a different environment. Because pods reference the config map by name, you can use a different configuration environment using the same pod specification across all of them. Config maps created from different manifests. Pods created from the same pod manifests. Pods created from the same pod manifest. Two different components, same use different environments. Let's create a config map, shall we? Let's say the config map pod. Start with the simplest example. You create a first map with single key and use it to fill the internal environment variable from previous example. You'll create a config map with special kubectl create config map. Using kubectl create config map and choose passing literals. kubectl create config map fortune config from literal sleep interval 25 kubectl get config maps fortune config is a valid DNS subdomain. This could config map fortune single entry equals sleep interval equals 25. Config map using contain more than one entry to create config map multiple entries and multiple from literals. Get config max fortune config dash o YAML. Data, metadata, creation, name, config, namespace, default, resource version, self, link, UID. Descriptor of a config map. The name of this map, you're referencing it by this name. Nothing extraordinary, you can easily return YAML yourself. And postsynchronous API, the well-known kubectl config. Create a config entry from the contents of a file. Coarse grain config data says complete config files. That's just from file. Looks for config file.conf. Under the key config file.conf. But you can specify a key menu like this, create config mac m3. Store a file comes under custom key of literals and multiple files dash from file arguments. Create config map my config from file foo from bar from file config out from literal something. You do a config map from multiple sources. From file foo JSON foo bar from file bar from file foo.json from file bar equals foobar.conf. From literal something from file config ops debug true repeats 100. Oh, individual files, a directory, and a literal value. How do you get rid of this in the pods container? Config map name interval value from config map key ref fortune config key sleep interval config map key fortune config name of the config map you're referencing. Key the config map. You're setting the variable to whatever is stored in this under this key in the config map. If I variable called interval, when the process running in the HTML generator reads the interval environment variable, sees value 25. Fortune loop sh process. Referencing only setting config max in the pod. You create the missing config map, the field content stuff you're not required to create a pod. get config map, fortune config. Name interval. Fortune pod env config.yaml pod fortune env front config map config 101 image fortune env okay, so that's the image. The name can be image HUGC, missing property name. Oh, we need a name for this. Limits. Containers, name, image, ports. Okay, ports, containers. Containers, name, interval. Interval, value from. Ref key. Fortune config. Define an environment variable called interval sets value to whatever is stored in the fortune config. The config map under the key sleep interval. When process running HTML general contribute interval environment is set to value 25. Web server, resource limits, okay. Referencing existing config maps in the pod. Kubernetes pod and try to run the containers. And we can also say a specify environment variable config case given for environment represent the container. Config full config bar. That's 3 entries. Why is that not variable for full bar entry map? Passing a config map as entry command line argument. Using a config map. Whoa. Expose config map entry file, various contents, gradient config map. Now delete existing fortune config. Replace new one with a replacement directory called config map. Sleep entry. Operator config map. Volumes. Config port forward config map volume. Of entries command directory added. You can create 2 different config maps. Use one fortune will contain multiple config maps. Mount directory is hidden file existing in that directory. Hiding other files. Config map volume. Config map bureau 1967 long time files under the config map. Edit config / signal and change reveal on config. See files in mountain converting a point single point symbolic links. Understand if files context don't get updated. configuration files, config mac used to be new, config all ports, secrets. All of your passing so far as lost as a configuration data. You should secrets use like Kubernetes secret object secret config map so maps whole key value. Kubernetes should distribute it to nodes to run the pods. So the Kubernetes helps keep secrets safe. You can distribute nodes that run the pods and access to secret. Also nodes themselves, secrets are stored in memory, never configure storage. On the master node itself, secrets are stored in unencrypted form. This doesn't include gimmick XC storage, but also preventing unauthorized users from accessing the API server. Config mac to store non-sensitive plain configuration data. Secret shut the 5 minute secret hold TLS. Introducing default token secrets. Comparing config maps and secrets. Let's get secret. Doing secret entry in a pod. Secret in a pod. Mounting the fortune HTTP secret in a pod. Following listing. Default secret token. Only added a pod automatically unshown the figure. Secret wallet specified by default mount property. Trigger response. There's secret volumes, stored in memory, secret entries from environment variables, image pool secrets. Okay guys, so it's a bit heavy in the material. We have to come back to it again. Accessing pod metadata and resources from applications. Okay, this has been on time. Thanks guys.